Hi guys, welcome to Milk It with Sofiamiia. I'm your host, and today is going to be a very candid episode about GLP-1s and my personal experience with GLP-1s. I've had a lot of people in my DMs. I've also had fake accounts message me asking me if I've been on a GLP-1 over the last year, which is funny because anybody who has messaged me who is like not a fake account that has just came to me about it candidly, or have just been like, you looked great, I literally have been like, girl, it's the GLP-1. I am not a gatekeeper. I just have not advertised it online yet because I was actually waiting to get the podcast started. And when I was looking at timelines, it was actually really funny because I was looking at the timelines for this podcast so I can tell you guys when I started. And I actually ordered my first GLP-1 this week last year in 2025. So I went from about 165 pounds to now around like 135. I honestly haven't weighed myself since I've gotten to Mexico, just because I had a gym back in Long Beach where I would like do the sauna and like weigh myself. But I like the no scale life anyway. I did that for a really, really long time. But I'm just going to share my personal experience. I think there is a lot of misinformation online. I am not by any means a doctor. And to be honest, the way that I've been doing it, a lot like probably isn't the best way to be doing it, but I just want to share with you guys how I did it. So here we go. I actually just love talking about this topic. So I first started experimenting with GLP-1s because, to be quite frank, I needed a fucking pick-me-up. I was depressed, going through a divorce, not feeling cute already. I already kind of told you guys about my hair journey. And I was just like, do I get a boob job? Like, what do I do? And to be honest, when I was 165 pounds, I have been around that 160 range probably since I was 24. I always chalked it up to like, I have a lot of muscle, and I actually felt like hot. And I was beautiful at that weight. And if I ever get to that weight again, I will be beautiful. But like, I felt strong. I never like really looked at myself and was like, I look fat. But when I was depressed, I don't know, I just was looking at myself in a totally different light. And like I have mentioned, I was smoking a lot of weed, trying to suppress just my emotions. Binge eating is something I have struggled with for a really, really long time. And I also do have PCOS that I've been treating, I don't know, for the past like 8 years or whatever it might be. And something I will say, I did lose a little bit of weight before my wedding, but I was running a lot. I was basically like working myself out into the ground. And now that I look back, I feel like I have learned a lot about my body since taking this GLP-1. I was extremely, extremely inflamed. And I would try every diet. I would try different types of workouts, whether it was cardio, whether it was walking, whether it was cycling, yoga. I've done so many things. And I couldn't really lose the 20 pounds. And if I'm just being quite honest, again, I'm not a doctor. I think our parents' generation ate so much like crap and had so many toxins around. Like my grandparents were smoking, they were drinking soda, they were eating fast food. Like, things started being put into our foods. I actually think that our generation has the most fucked up hormones out of any generation. It's not, I think for most of our generation, it's not just as easy as eating right and working out. Like, that is how the body should be, but our bodies genetically aren't like that anymore. That's my take. I love this new movement of health because I do think that me as a parent, people our age, people in our generation, I think the pendulum is swinging back to being like more healthy and eating whole foods. But think about it. If it goes back to like 3 or 4 generations of them just starting to eat more chemically modified food, like no wonder we can't lose weight. Like no wonder our generation is having like a big problem getting pregnant. Like people our hormones are messed up. Like not only are women infertile, but a lot of men's sperm, like the amount of times I hear about men's sperm just like not doing it lately is high. So again, there's my little rant. So it was really hard for me to lose weight, and I struggle with binge eating, habits, blah 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 blah. So I did go actually probably back in 2023. I did go to like a diet clinic and asked to be put on a GLP-1, and they were like, sorry, your body weight does not like qualify. I was like, okay, whatever. And then in 2025, I started getting ads for places like Row or Hers and stuff like that. And I decided to go on Row. They did send me to a clinic to get my blood work done, and then they set you up with a doctor through the app. I have only messaged the doctor through the app. I have not had to do any video calls or anything like that. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I did a lot of research on GLP-1s on my own, and I decided to start microdosing. So they prescribed me Trizepatide, the brand Zepbound. Started off with 2.5 milligrams. It's about $100 a month for the Row membership, and for the medication, it's about $300 a month on top of that. So through Row, you are spending anywhere from $400 to $500 a month. Don't kill me if I say this, but I'm a single woman in my 30s. I have money. As long as I have money, I'm going to be skinny. Like, sorry. Like women used to dream of drugs like this to be created. It's something that I love. So when I got my first dose, I did the entire 2.5 dose. I felt lightheaded, and I felt it like in my bloodstream immediately. I remember laying down. I remember being like, this feels like Adderall. Like, and I don't like stimulants. I was like, this literally feels like Adderall. It gave me extreme anxiety. And I will say it affects your mood when you first start taking it. So I already was kind of feeling depressed, but I was just feeling like not okay. I didn't have any like suicidal thoughts, but I was just like extremely anxious and was like just worried about my job, worried about my friends, worried about like, I don't know, it made me spiral a little bit. Like the anxious part was really, really intense. So much so that I like canceled my membership and was like, I absolutely do not want to do this. And a lot of people have that experience. Now, it is something that you're injecting into. I inject in my tummy and in my thigh. After spending that much money, and I started to do my own research, and I found this podcast. It was like the only podcast at the time. I'll put it in the show notes. It's a really great podcast that kind of went into just talking about GLP-1, and not a lot of places were talking about it. And the doctor on there, she was like, you need to microdose. Like, this is microdosing. Even taking the doses once a week is a lot. And they also went into like the dangers of taking a GLP-1, like losing weight so quickly that you lose your muscle. That is something that I really did not want to happen. So then I decided to just take literally out of the 2.5, I was taking half of that every 2 weeks because one, I didn't want to lose the weight so quickly. Like I didn't want in like 3 months people to be like, holy fuck, you're losing so much weight. I didn't want the loose skin on my face to happen. I also heard if you lose the weight too quickly, like your like something can happen with your pancreas or something like that. So I wanted to go really low and slow. And to be honest, people didn't really start notice the weight coming off of me until 4 or 5 months down the line because I was going so slow. And that's what I wanted. Not because I wanted to fool anybody, but my health came first. And I really wanted to also continue building the good habits. I will say I am a very disciplined girl. I'm a Capricorn. I have always had a disciplined workout routine. But the GLP-1 just kind of helped me hit my goals and then some. Something that I've been trying to hit for, like, I'm not going to lie, like the last like 5 or 6 years. So once I started microdosing and injecting every 14 days, the anxiety went away. Also, when you take too much at one time, you like literally, your appetite is gone. Like you literally don't want to eat, and that's just not good for you either. You can get lightheaded. Going down the dose, I would eat a little bit less, but I still had an appetite, which was good. Something that also saved me was I ordered electrolytes, and I have electrolytes every single day ever since like for the last year, because it really helps with constipation. I have had no problems like using the bathroom or anything like that. And what's also nice is it does kind of dim down your dopamine receptors. There's pros and cons to that. Pros are me wanting to smoke weed and snack on sweets after smoking weed pretty much went away. I could have like 2 drinks of alcohol at most, and I would feel extremely full, or it does kind of like hurt your stomach. So I really, really love the habits that I have built. Like, I'm not really a big drinker. Like, I do like a buzz, but like I could have 2 glasses of wine and be extremely buzzed now. It's cheaper for my wallet. It's better for my body. I don't really get hungover anymore, even though I know last episode I was like, I'm so hungover. But I haven't been on the shot since I got to Mexico, which is, anyway. Something else that I did experience that is a con is I did experience some temporary hair shedding, which I always had really thin hair, as you probably heard if you listened to my hair episode a couple episodes back. That was kind of stressful, but lowering your dose will help. And I got to my ideal weight around like September time. And since September, I still stayed on the low dose. Now, this is kind of like a hack. Roe kept increasing my doses because they thought like I was taking what was prescribed. Eventually, they started giving me like a 5 milligram dose, but I always continued with the low, whatever half of 2.5 is, every 2 weeks. Again, you're still going to lose weight. It might not be as fast as other people that are taking the full doses, but I really, really think that that is the way to go. And I heard that from a doctor on that podcast that I mentioned. What also has really helped me while being on the GLP-1 is just staying grounded. Not only did it help me lose weight, but I do think it clears the inflammation. So like I mentioned, I had really bad back problems. The journaling, I think, was the number one thing that helps with inflammation, or with my back problems rather. But I do think there is something to say about the GLP-1. Also with my PCOS, I do think it helped my metabolism a lot better. And to be honest, a GLP-1 is just a peptide. I don't know if you guys, I am really big into health and wellness, so I research a lot of peptides. And again, I don't think our bodies run as naturally as they used to be with all the toxins and disruptors that have been around us and that our parents have been ingesting. Like, I don't think that our bodies naturally produce the right GLP-1. So I think it only makes sense to lean into science. I've always believed in science. And again, I think as long as I'm being smart and not overdoing it, It's a totally fine thing, and it should be a totally normal thing. The amount of people that are on these peptides, you guys, and I don't think that people talk about it, is a lot. I've been so like open about it in person with people, and people will like, after I talk about it for like 15 minutes, they'll be like, yeah, me too. I'm like, come on. Like, just be honest. So I have not had any of my shots since I've been here in Mexico. It is available in Mexico. You need a doctor prescription. I just haven't gone to the doctor and got it prescribed. But what I have started experimenting with is retatrutide. If you don't know what retatrutide is, it is basically a 3-peptide in one. It's like a GLP-1, it's a glutathione, and then something with metabolic. So this is in clinical trials. It's not out yet, but there are places where you can get it. If you are interested, please let me know. I will DM you the details. I don't know if you guys have also heard about the copper peptide and the glow peptide. I don't have those ones in my possession yet, but I might experiment with those. It kind of depends how the retatrutide goes. I've only been on the retatrutide for 2 weeks, but what's nice about the retatrutide is it keeps your muscles. So that's like, and that is something I noticed with the tirzepatide. There was a point where I was like, okay, I look a little too thin, like I need to be toned up. But it's very difficult to do that on the tirzepatide. You need to be eating lots of protein, and you need to be lifting lots of weights. My body is not ready to lift a lot of weights yet, just because, like I mentioned, I had back problems, I had neck problems. Actually, within the last 2 weeks here, I have just started picking up like 3-pound and 5-pound weights. So far, so good. I'm really happy about that, but that is also why I switched to the retatrutide, because I just didn't want to hurt myself with having less muscle. And I will say, I feel like people who are not lifting weights and eating enough protein while on these GLP-1s, they look awful. Like, yeah, you're skinny, but if you look awful and you look sick and you look like a skeleton, like that is also like not a good look. So that has been my experience so far with GLP-1s. Please don't come for me. To be honest, I don't really care. And if you have any questions, like, feel free to DM me. I think whatever you want to do to make you feel comfortable in your own body is great. I will say my confidence level has really gone up, and I just feel like my body feels good. I'm really big into, like, if it was hurting me, I think I would notice. I have tried everything under the sun when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to partying, when it comes to food, when it comes to like anything you can ingest. I have tried it, and I feel good on these peptides. I sleep well. I'm eating healthier. I'm thinking so clearly. I'm feeling creative. I'm feeling feminine. So that's my experience. Thanks for listening.